Some of my friends and my relatives who are older than me would say, but didn't you waste time?
It's a very naive choice at that time, and who can be responsible for these choices for the whole life? As no one can do that.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today our topic is about choice of giving up. But what is different from before is that we're gonna communicate in English today. That's because the purpose of this channel is to talk with the people from different background and make different choices. So using English is inevitable in the future. As well as English is very native, and I'm so happy that today she's willing to help me take the first step.
Sometimes we gotta give up what we really enjoy or what we really don't enjoy, and that's perfectly fine.
Curious about your experience of giving up studying in Hong Kong University. You know, for Chinese people, going into Hong Kong University is a very big thing, and everyone will be very pleased of it. Why did you do that?
I think it's a couple of reasons why I decided to leave the University of Hong Kong. First of all, I must say the University of Hong Kong is a great school that has loads of academic support. People and professors are from everywhere, and they're really smart. And I did enjoy what I learned at the University of Hong Kong, which was speech and hearing sciences. However, I just felt like the teaching style wasn't truly for me. Whilst I really wanted to learn solely about speech and language therapy, the HKU curriculum did cover a lot more of the American style, which includes core subjects such as learning more about China, sustainability. I even took courses about architecture and all kinds of very interesting subjects, which are great for a whole person development, but I just felt like it wasn't the right fit for me. That's the first thing. And second of all, I think making friends at HKU wasn't as easy as I joined as an international student back in Hong Kong. I did my local school as well, but I just didn't feel like I fitted in that much, especially when it comes to an academic course like this. People were mainly from Hong Kong, and they were very, how should I put it? They worked very hard towards the grades, but I just didn't feel like me and my classmates clicked that much. So making friends wasn't easy. Actually, in the end, my friend group in Hong Kong at Speech and Hearing Sciences, most of us ended up going to Australia for more speech therapy or for vets. So you can tell maybe it was a great start to know, okay, I do end up liking the subject, but maybe just not HKU. Maybe HKU wasn't the perfect learning environment that I wanted to be in. And thirdly, it was also about the dorm life. Personally, I didn't know what I envisioned for dorm life. Because I went to international school back when I was 15, 16, 17, I feel like I already had the experience, so I didn't really want to do it again and again. However, that was actually a big part of the HKU experience, and I felt like I was missing out on it. Hence, here at the Manchester University, I'm quite glad that we got to make this happen again and just live that uni life that I envisioned. So these were the main reasons why I left the University of Hong Kong.
I heard that before, that the Hong Kong University make people very stressful. Seems like people have endless things to do, right?
I would say yes, keeping up with my peers wasn't easy. Most of us were very high achievers. However, I didn't find it stressful if I stayed on top of what I was meant to do. For example, my pre-reading, my seminar prepping work, and all that. It's more about mindset for me. So how do I regulate my work-life balance, my well-being? But yeah, I think it takes time to know yourself better before you can not let that stress override you every day.
Yes, and you say a lot of your friends went to Australia and American later on. So Do they finish the undergraduate or they just quit studying there?
My friend group consisted of 5 people, so 2 stayed at HKU and continued the degree, but one is leaving for Taiwan very soon after she gets the license to practice speech therapy. Another friend who went to the University of Sydney and did her speech and language therapy course there, so she also restarted. Yeah, she didn't finish the course at HKU. And my other friend also quit HKU the same year I did for veterinary sciences because that was her true passion. So yeah, she did leave.
Yeah, you're so brave. I know restarting is not an easy thing.
Some of my friends and my relatives who are older than me would say, but didn't you waste time?
Yes.
The first 2 years at HKU, didn't the knowledge go into waste? I would say I strongly disagree. What you learn from your university courses, in general university training, it builds you up as a person, your critical thinking. And since I'm doing a similar course now, just fully in English, it's still the same content as a basic. So I wouldn't say it's a waste of my time when I did end up learning quite a lot from it nonetheless. Also, I don't believe or I don't agree with the timeline a person should mainly follow. It's just self-exploration in the end. We all have different paths. Why should you and I's timeline align to be the exact same? If that's the case, then what makes us different after all? There are social norms out there, but I just don't agree that we should all walk the same way. Otherwise, why are there such little things in life that we should appreciate if we are all the same? It's just like going to malls. If there are all the same stores and there's no individualities, I'd rather go to a small local shop in a little town and see the independent artist's work rather than the same standardized shops everywhere I can find.
Yes, I totally agree with you. When people are talking about wasting time, I think what they mention is something like you should do one thing effectively and get the certificate in a very quick way. But for us, I think it's only yourself can define what is meaningful and what is meaningless. Although maybe I can't get the certificate of something, I can't get a degree, but I actually experienced that and actually obtain something that's enough. Our life is not consist of a lot of degrees, a lot of certificate. We are consist of every important moment for us.
Exactly, walking those steps, every step of the way. Sometimes it's the process that makes the experience so special rather than the end result.
Do you think life become better after you went to UK?
In terms of university life, yes. I think I am a lot happier here at the University of Manchester. No, this is not an ad for the school. I'm quite happy here at the university as I'm making friends that I click very well with. People in my course, they're all so nice. Maybe it's a speech and language therapist quality. We're also nice and friendly and so talkative. That just makes me feel very included. I think the stress from the degree as well, it's a lot less. Hence, the work-life balance is here. I think here at the university, I'm also allowed to ask a lot more questions. And we're actually supported with little groups like seminars and tutorials that really helped with my understanding. So I don't always have to be brave and put out my hand in class and ask. I don't have to be embarrassed by it. I've learned that. But also in small groups, it really helps with your consolidating your knowledge. In Hong Kong, I think it's more of the school culture or the class culture. Or in terms of Zoom, because I did my undergrad during the pandemic. Asking a question on Zoom, it's okay, but usually we privately ask our friends, among our friends, or to the professor rather than in a whole group and mute yourself and do it. I think that takes a lot of courage. But here, it doesn't matter. Everybody asks questions and we support each other. I think I still had a really good time at HKU. With my small group of friends, with my professors, with my learning, different from what I wanted. And knowing that my degree was 5 years and if I stayed, the academic stress would keep going and my friends were also leaving. There were a lot going on at the uni, hence I thought right, maybe it's a good time for a change. Also, I haven't been living at home back then since I was 15. So then moving home again in your late teenage years, it's very different living with your parents when I was used to very much freedom. So it's a big change. Hence, I thought, well, whilst I'm young and I have the opportunity, why not go? Live somewhere else, see what it's like, enjoy it. Stay out of my comfort zone as much as possible. Because choosing HKU was actually my comfort zone. When I had the choice to choose between the University College of London for linguistics and HKU, I was 1 week away from enrolling and actually going through to London and starting. But I just thought I was so homesick. I was not bothered to make new friends in a whole new country and being on my own again, just like I was in Denmark. So I thought HKU was a safety net in a sense. I can still come home and all that. Looking back, I don't regret my decision actually. I think I did what was right for me at the time.
Yes.
But I also think I'm glad I had an evaluation and thought, well, there's still opportunities to make a change. And hence I took it and decided to leave HKU.
Yeah, so I have the same feeling is that although we change our decision, we don't consider that the previous experience is totally wrong. It's because that we make such decision under the condition of that time. But as we get older, we don't need this anymore. So we change.
Right. Now to think of it, I actually never asked you why you changed your major completely from undergrad to master's. You used to do 4 years of communication and now sociology, from what I understand.
Yes.
Why was that such big change?
Honestly, I keep changing my major for a lot of times because in senior high school, I was a science student. After going to the university, I chose communication. So it's a little bit different because what I studied before is science, right? I think that's because at that time I feel like at first I think I had very high passion for this, but after a few years of study, I figured out that it's totally different from what I considered before. The reasons are really complicated, but what I want to mention is two main things. I feel like that this major is very contradictory. It sounds very practical, which make me consider that whether we should actually study communication in school or can we just go into a society to do some practical things. At first, I consider that maybe we will learn some communication theories in school, but in today's social media platform, theory is not that important. A lot of YouTubers are not professors, but they also make a lot of good stuff. Our tutor realized that, so they decided not to give us too much theoretical education. So what they do is to cut nearly all the theoretical course and try to improve our practical skills. But the problem was that the practical lessons in our school were really out of date, and I feel like the tutors were not really good at this. It's understandable, all the tutors are professors, which means that what they learn in their university is a very theoretical thing, and what they do in their career is also theoretical thing, but they needed to teach us some practical skill. How can they make this? Every time I study in the course, I don't know what I was doing, and I feel like if I go to find some video, maybe follow some YouTubers or other video makers, I can learn it where. As a result, for lots of students, they will not study patiently in class. They just do the practical things after class, the same as me. So it's very painful because I don't know what I was doing at that time. Then after that, I think maybe if you actually want to do communication, the better way is go out of the school and have an internship.
Yeah.
This market will tell you that what is right, what is your user truly want. That's the first thing. Second thing is that I feel like the judging criteria of this major is very, very unclear. For example, we are making this video, right? But although we do a lot of preparation before, and it costs us a lot of time to think what we're going to talk about. But, this video is a little bit long, and sometimes it will make people consider that it's a little bit heavy. The topic is heavy, and they should focus a lot of attention on understanding it. But at the same time, if some girls, they wear very short skirts, dancing in the snow and making video at the same time, maybe it's only 15 seconds, but I bet that the numbers of views of them will definitely be better than mine. After a long day work, everyone wants to do something to relax themselves, even myself. So I feel like it's understandable, but if you have to make a judgment that which video is better, that's very difficult, right? Because they are totally different. That video is only 15 seconds, so how can you judge that is a better one? Only according to the number of views. So it's ridiculous. But in our major, the tutor will give you a score largely according to the number of views, which means that this kind of video will definitely get a lower score. It depressed me a lot, but I know that the purpose that I learned this major is not to making a lot of eye-catching things. It's to help the marginalization people to speak out, to solve their problem, improve their living conditions. So I don't want to do the eye-catching things. And to be honest, I'm not good at doing that. But in this major, I realized that it's the only way to succeed. So it made me so uncomfortable. So I want to change. And I'm very, very lucky to get in touch with sociology. And after that, I realized that maybe my passion is not really on communication, because communication is just a tool. But what you want to express is the most important thing. Today we can use camera to record our feelings, our opinions, but camera is not the most important thing, right? It's just a tool. If we don't have camera, we can also use phones or tablet to record it. It's okay. But what is important is our experience, our feeling, and our standpoint. So I feel like what I need to learn in school is not how to use tool. It's how to generate your own ideas and how to get a view towards this world. So I feel like maybe sociology would be a better choice. So I went to the sociology department of my school and then start to follow the tutors to do some research and write a paper, which made me confirm that I truly love this major. So I applied for the sociology program on my grade 4, and I didn't apply even one communication major because I think I don't like it anymore and I can't find the meaning of learning it. Why do I need to do that?
The time and effort might as well be saved. Now that you've changed major, would you say you're happy with your current sociology degree?
Yes, I think so. Definitely, I think I have better life now, because when I started sociology, I know that's what I want for a long time. When I was a young child, I feel like I'm very different from others. And a lot of things that other people interested in is nothing for me. And what I like is to focus on some social phenomena or social relations with others. And I would keep thinking at that time. So at that period of time, my parents, the teachers, and the classmates consider that I'm a person who thought too much. But in sociology, I feel like this kind of thinking way can be a kind of talent in this major.
Definitely a strength.
Yes, because for sociology student, you should have a very sensitive feeling of power, hierarchy, maybe the force. You should notice a very slight emotion, no change in social relationship. That's why you can find a hierarchy underneath this social phenomena. So for me, it's a comfort zone. And now I feel like I'm not weird anymore. I'm very talented.
You belong as well.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like it's my role. It's my original role of myself.
Almost your purpose in life in that sense.
Yes, I talked about the criteria before, and I feel like in sociology, I have to say this criteria sometimes not that clear because, for humanity subjects, it's very difficult to define whether it's right or wrong. But I have a general idea that what a good sociologist should be, maybe reflective, creative, and perceptive, always willing to find new things and always willing to reflect on yourself and the things you do before. Yeah. So that's great. I think it's very comfortable for me to learn. And every time I write the essay, do the literature review, I seldom feel painful. I know I'm so lazy, but I seldom feel painful in this kind of thing. I will feel that, wow, this major is so amazing, and the source that the sociologists consider before are really, really empathetic, reflective, and creative. So I don't refuse to take it as my future career to do it further.
Yeah, you're open to that possibility to go down that avenue.
Yes.
I think you touched upon a very, very good point, which is you need to have that passion and that strong interest in the major you pick in order to pursue it further. Because when you don't actually have the motivation, it's very difficult to strive and ace the subject, especially when uni work can sometimes be quite difficult, quite challenging. And without that motivation, that passion, it just makes it completing your assignments a very long process that you might end up hating it. So having that passion is a buffer for when you burn out, that's okay. In the end, you still know that this is what you want, which makes me also think of your high school experience. I think sometimes in high school, there's not enough taster courses of all these majors out there. There are so many to pick from. And at the age of 18, to be honest, I think most of us still don't exactly know which path to go down to. But the fact that a major course of 4 years, it's still 4 years commitment, and that you might have to stick to it for the rest of your life is a pretty scary thought and a pretty big decision to just pick at the age of 18.
Yes, I think so. The biggest problem is that we don't have enough space to try the things we want.
Exactly.
So when people are in 18 years old, they know nothing about their future, but they have to make a decision. And after going to the university, and the parents would tell you that you have already made the choice and you need to take it as a
Stick with it.
whole life job. But how can they make it? It's a very naive choice at that time, and who can be responsible for these choices for the whole life? I think no one can do that. I want to emphasize two things. The one is that you should always try to find the things you actually like, and the second one is that it's okay to stop, because we will all make the wrong choice. It's very normal, because as we get older, the thoughts will change, opinion will change, and maybe the social background will also change. So your choice is only suitable at that time.
Exactly.
So if things have already changed, you should also give yourself a space to change. If you do something wrong, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
You can still correct it, adjust it to make life to a mode that you actually have passion for.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about trial and error in the end. And don't forget to give yourself the credit that, hey, it was such a difficult decision to choose which path to go down. And now that you've given it your all, you realize it's not for you, that's okay as well. Turn around, make another decision, because in the end, you found out what you really want.